Red Riding Hood went into the forest to kill the wolf. No trembling hands, no innocent errand. Steel rested beneath the cloth inside the basket, polished to a cold shine that caught the moonlight whenever Red Riding Hood shifted grip. The village believed Red Riding Hood was carrying bread and herbs to grandmother. The village believed tonight would end another chapter of fear. Red Riding Hood believed something simpler. If the wolf died, the nightmares would stop. The path cut through the trees like a scar. Mist clung low to the ground, silver in the dark. Every step was measured, every breath controlled. The hood was not for warmth, the hood was armor. Grandmother's voice echoed in memory, calm and precise. The wolf watches from the tree line. The wolf waits for weakness. Do not hesitate. Grandmother had pressed the basket into Red Riding Hood's hands as if handing over a crown. Red Riding Hood did not intend to hesitate. The forest deepened. Lantern light from the village vanished behind trunks and branches. The only glow now was the moon filtering through skeletal limbs overhead. Red Riding Hood slowed near the clearing where the last attack had happened. Blood had stained the snow there a week ago. The villagers still whispered about the scream. Red Riding Hood knelt. The ground told a different story. The claw marks were too even, too deliberate, the spacing wrong. Red Riding Hood had studied animal movement for years under grandmother's strict instruction. The pattern in the dirt looked rehearsed. Red Riding Hood's jaw tightened. Doubt was weakness. Grandmother had said that too. A branch cracked behind Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood rose in one motion, steel flashing free from the basket, blade aimed toward the sound. The wolf stepped from shadow into pale light. The wolf was larger than rumor, fur dark as wet stone, eyes reflecting the moon like twin embers. The wolf did not crouch. The wolf did not snarl. The wolf stood still, calm, as if observing a student about to fail an exam. Red Riding Hood brought steel, the wolf said. The voice was low and steady, not monstrous, controlled. Red Riding Hood did not lower the blade. The wolf killed 3 villagers. The wolf killed no one who did not set traps first. The words hit harder than a growl. Red Riding Hood stepped forward. The wolf expects mercy. The wolf expects truth. Silence folded around them. Wind shifted the fog between tree trunks. Somewhere far off, an owl called once and went quiet. Red Riding Hood felt anger rise. Sharp and familiar. Anger was easier than confusion. Grandmother saw the bodies. Grandmother saw opportunity. The wolf's gaze did not break, not once. Red Riding Hood lunged. Steel cut air. The wolf moved with terrifying precision, not attacking, only evading. The blade scraped fur but did not draw blood. The wolf could have closed the distance. The wolf did not. The wolf does not hunt children, the wolf said. I am not a child. Then stop acting like prey trained to bite on command. The words froze Red Riding Hood mid-step. The forest seemed to lean closer. The dead, the wolf continued, argued with grandmother before they died. Red Riding Hood's breath faltered. Images flickered raised voices in the village square. Men demanding access to deeper parts of the forest. Women questioning why wood was rationed. Grandmother standing at the center, calm, warning of danger. That is coincidence, Red Riding Hood said, though the conviction cracked. The wolf protects a boundary, the wolf replied. Those who cross with fire and iron pay the price. The wolf leaves marks, clean, honest. What Red Riding Hood saw in the clearing was theater. The word lingered. The wolf stepped aside slowly. Come. Every instinct screamed trap, yet Red Riding Hood followed. They moved deeper into the forest until an ancient oak emerged from shadow, trunk wide enough to hide 3 grown men. Carved into the bark was a symbol, old, weathered, deliberate. Red Riding Hood recognized it. Grandmother had drawn the same mark in training manuals, labeling it a sign of the wolf's territory. It is not a territory mark, the wolf said quietly. It is a treaty. Red Riding Hood traced the carving with trembling fingers. Beneath it, half hidden in roots, lay rusted metal jaws of a trap, human-made, recent. The wolf did not begin this war, the wolf said. Something inside Red Riding Hood shifted. Not belief, not yet, but structure. If the wolf speaks truth, Red Riding Hood said slowly, why not show the village? The village does not want truth, the wolf replied. The village wants safety sold in simple stories. Grandmother's house stood at the forest's edge, warm light glowing through lace curtains. Smoke curled gently from the chimney. The scene looked peaceful enough to paint. Red Riding Hood walked ahead of the wolf now, blade lowered but not sheathed. The wolf remained in shadow near the tree line. Red Riding Hood pushed open the door. The scent of dried herbs and burning candles filled the air. Grandmother sat at the table, hands folded, expression unreadable. "Did Red Riding Hood find the wolf?" Grandmother asked. "I found answers," Red Riding Hood said. Grandmother's eyes flicked briefly toward the window, calculating. "The wolf lies. Then, explain the treaty." Silence. The faintest smile touched Grandmother's lips. Old myths. Nothing more. Red Riding Hood stepped closer. On the shelf behind, Grandmother hung items never seen before. Rings, pendants, carved tokens belonging to villagers who had died. Not trophies displayed openly, but not hidden either. Catalogued. "Why keep these?" Red Riding Hood asked. "For memory," Grandmother replied smoothly. "For leverage," Red Riding Hood countered. The air thickened. Grandmother's voice lost its softness. "The forest must fear us, or we starve." The wolf was convenient. So the attacks, necessary. The word dropped like a blade. "You staged them," Red Riding Hood said. "I controlled them," Grandmother corrected. "Fear unites people. Fear gives purpose. Fear keeps Red Riding Hood strong." Red Riding Hood felt the weight of the steel in hand, suddenly heavier. "I trained Red Riding Hood," Grandmother continued. "I gave Red Riding Hood meaning. You gave Red Riding Hood a target." Grandmother stood slowly. "Without me, Red Riding Hood is nothing." A shadow filled the doorway. The wolf did not enter, only watched. "Without truth," the wolf said from the dark, "Red Riding Hood is owned." Grandmother's gaze sharpened. "Kill the wolf now. Prove loyalty." The room narrowed to a single point. Blade? Blood? Choice. Red Riding Hood looked at Grandmother at the careful, calm, the controlled narrative, the years of instruction shaped around hatred. Then Red Riding Hood looked at the wolf silent, waiting, not pleading. The steel shifted, not toward the wolf. The blade struck the wooden table instead, splitting it clean down the center. "I will not be used," Red Riding Hood said. Grandmother's expression fractured for the first time. "You would side with a beast?" "I refuse to side with a lie." Outside, villagers' lanterns flickered in the distance. Word traveled fast in fearful places. They had followed, expecting spectacle. Red Riding Hood stepped into the doorway beside the wolf. Not touching, not aligned as allies, but aligned in refusal. Grandmother moved to speak, to reshape the narrative, but Red Riding Hood raised a hand. No more stories. When the villagers arrived, they found no corpse, no heroic victory, only truth laid bare in objects and silence. Some turned away, some stared, some chose comfort over clarity. Red Riding Hood did not wait to see which. At the edge of the forest, beneath cold dawn light, Red Riding Hood stopped. "The wolf owes nothing," the wolf said. "Red Riding Hood owes a future," Red Riding Hood replied. The forest did not feel smaller anymore. It felt uncertain, honest. Red Riding Hood stepped beyond the path that had always been assigned. Some monsters hunt with teeth, some monsters hunt with fear. And the most dangerous stories are the ones that teach you who to hate before you learn how to think.